My name is Michael. I'm 76 years old, and there's something I've been carrying with me for most of my life, something I didn't understand until it was already too late. People used to admire my life. They called me driven, successful, disciplined. I built a thriving business from nothing. I earned respect, money, and a reputation that followed me everywhere. On paper, I did everything right.
But while I was chasing success, I slowly disappeared from the lives of the people who needed me most. And now, at 76, I live with that truth every single day. If you're busy telling yourself, just a few more years, I need you to listen carefully. Because I told myself the same thing. And it cost me more than I ever imagined. I was 31 when I started my company. New marriage. Big dreams. Endless energy. My wife, Helen, believed in me. Or at least, she believed in the future I promised her. The early years were exhausting. Long days turned into longer nights. Weekends stopped existing. Everything revolved around work. I kept telling myself it was temporary. That once things stabilized, I'd slow down. That all this sacrifice would eventually pay off. That eventually never came. Our first son, Daniel, was born during one of the busiest years of my life. I remember getting the call while I was in the middle of a meeting. I showed up hours later, exhausted and distracted, already thinking about the next problem I needed to solve. I was there physically, but I wasn't really there. Our daughter, Claire, came a few years later. By then, work had fully consumed me. I missed bedtime stories. I missed school mornings. I missed the small moments that quietly build a childhood. I told myself the kids were too young to notice. They noticed. There's a memory that still follows me. Daniel was about 8 years old. He had a school performance and asked if I'd come. I said I'd try. That evening, I stayed late at the office. Something important came up. By the time I got home, the house was quiet. Helen told me he looked for me the entire time. I told myself there would be other performances. There were. And I missed those too. By the time my company started making real money, my family had already learned how to live without me. Helen built her routines. The kids stopped asking if I'd be home. They adjusted their expectations. And I mistook that silence for understanding. It wasn't understanding. It was resignation. When the kids became teenagers, the distance became obvious. I didn't know their friends. I didn't know their interests. I didn't know who they were becoming. Conversations felt awkward. Forced. Short. I told myself it was just a phase. That we'd reconnect later, when things slowed down. They never did. The day Daniel left for college, I realized how little time I'd actually spent with him. He hugged his mother tightly. When it was my turn, it felt polite. Familiar but distant. I stood there smiling, proud of his achievements, while quietly realizing I didn't know him as a person. That moment should have shaken me. Instead, I went back to work. Not long after, Helen asked for a separation. She wasn't angry. That hurt more than anger ever could. She told me she'd spent years feeling like a single parent in a marriage. That she'd waited long enough for me to choose them. I didn't argue. There was nothing to argue. I buried myself even deeper into my career. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Awards. Recognition. Growth. Inside, my life was shrinking. When I had a health scare in my early 60s, I realized something terrifying. There was no one to call. My children lived in different cities. Helen had moved on. The company kept running without me. I lay awake in a hospital room, surrounded by machines, and asked myself a question I'd avoided for decades. What was all of this for? I retired a few years later. I thought retirement would fix things. That I'd finally have time to reconnect. But time doesn't work that way. You can't go back and attend missed birthdays. You can't redo bedtime stories. You can't rebuild closeness that was never formed. My children are kind to me now. Respectful. Polite. But we don't have shared memories. We don't have inside jokes. We don't have that easy bond other families seem to have. And that absence, that's on me. I watched my daughter get married. She thanked her mother during her speech. Spoke about her strength, her presence, her sacrifices. When she mentioned me, it was brief. "Thank you for being here." I smiled. I applauded. Then I went back to my hotel room and sat in silence, realizing I had been reduced to a guest in my own child's life. Here's the truth it took me decades to understand. Success doesn't mean much if you're alone. Money doesn't comfort you at night. Achievements don't sit beside you when life falls apart. I see people today making the same choices I did. Missing dinners. Missing moments. Convincing themselves that family will wait. They won't. Children grow up whether you're present or not. Relationships fade whether you notice or not. And one day, you wake up old, with plenty of time and no one left to share it with. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't talk about strategy or ambition. I'd say this: close the laptop. Leave the office. Go home. Because work will always ask for more. But your children won't always ask for you. And when they stop asking, it's already too late. I'm 76 now. I live quietly. I reflect often. And I carry regret, not because I failed professionally, but because I succeeded at the wrong things. If you're watching this and something feels uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is a warning. Don't ignore it like I did. Choose presence over pride. Choose people over progress. Choose your family before life chooses for you. Thank you for listening.